Hi, my name is Tim Kellis, and I have solved the marriage problem. Yes, that might sound unusual to you because you probably have never heard that before, but yes, I have solved the marriage problem. And I'm actually the first to do that. And how I've done that is I address marriages mentally. And believe it or not, that's never happened before. And so at the end of the day, the bottom line is conflict resolution. What I do is I teach couples how to solve their marriage problems. How do you solve the marriage problem unless you solve the marriage problems? In fact, one of my big reveals, couples that are successful because they get along. Couples that are not successful because they don't get along. That is really the bottom line between success and not success in a marriage. So it's conflict resolution. And in essence, what I do is I eliminate arguments in marriages. And if you think about it, and if you learn what I teach, arguments are actually a way to reveal things that need to be healed inside of you. And so that's really what's important to understand about arguments. Not to mention, imagine having a marriage without arguments. That is peaceful. It's the mountaintop. It's actually what is the goal and the objective for being married. And so at the end of the day, when I say I've solved the marriage problem, what I mean is the solution is creating a marriage based on equality. Marriages, as we all know from the outside, is a partnership between two people. What it means to have a partnership based on equality is that neither gets to make the decision for any of the problems in marriage. Both have to come together and solve the problems where each has an equal say in what that solution is. In fact, the reality is the reason why we have the divorce rate we do is because marriages used to be based on the man in charge. It's called patriarchy. And so what has changed, which is what you look at in trying to figure out how to solve a problem, is the education of women. In 1970, less than 1% of all law and medical degrees went to women. By 1990, that number was over half. So women are just as educated as men are, and they're in a position now, because they can also go out and get jobs and make their own money, to question their subordinate role in the traditional patriarchy system of marriage. And so what we've yet to learn, which is what I teach, is how to create a marriage based on equality. Where there are no distinctions, there can be no superiority. Perfect equality affords no temptation for abuse or control, because in essence, what I do is I eliminate the power drive in a marriage. If you were to look at marriages that are not successful, a majority of them, I won't say all of them, but a majority of them are unsuccessful because one or two is trying to control the decision-making process in the marriage. So when you base it on equality, there's no temptation for either of them for abuse or control. So ultimately what my goal is to lower the divorce rate. So I'd like to invite you to join me in learning how to create a marriage based on equality so that you too could have a successful marriage. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to sharing with you all my knowledge.